Welcome back on ConveyorU. Today we are going to discuss another kind of popular packaging these days. It's the so-called stand-up pouch, or Doypack from the name of their inventors. It's a flexible film packaging which is capable of standing up, self-standing on a flat surface, so on a table or inside a carton display. This kind of packaging, it can be like this one with the wrap and the strap to close it, to be closed again once opened, or it can be with a screw-on plastic cap. So we have these two versions of this kind of packaging. It is used pretty much for any kind of product, powder like this one, liquids, both food liquids or chemicals like soaps and something like that. It's used for refilling soaps because it's of course less expensive than a rigid plastic packaging. It can be used for cheese, it can be used for dried fruit, a lot of kind of different packaging of different products. So it's not so common as the flow pack, but it's very much used. From the handling and conveying point of view, it's a particularly tricky package to handle. It's deformable, it's unstable when it's moving because it can stand on the surface when it's standing still, but when it's moving it can be easily imagined that this is highly unstable, and the presence of the sealing on this side create risks of jamming. Therefore there are some tricks that we need to take care when we move this thing around. So because of instability, it's not a good idea to bring it around standing, so it's always better to have it lying on the surface of the conveyor. And because the sealing in the front side sits so low on the chain of the conveyor, this can create a jamming point when touching the side guides, or sometimes even if there is a fall on the conveyor, this could fold inside like this, and this can create of course some problems. So it's always a good idea to bring the product around with the bottom facing in the front, so in the direction of the movement. So this is the first thing that we need to consider. The side guides, of course, like the flow pack, must be coming up from below the surface of the conveyor. Another point that we need to consider, that this kind of packaging, because it can change shape very easily, it's always a good idea to reduce to the minimum the contact to the side. So head-to-head passages are to be preferred to compare to side by side. From the point of view of the accumulation, of course this package cannot accumulate at all. It's very important that this product does not accumulate at all, because of course multiple packages would climb one over the other, and also they could crush the inside product. The shape would change a lot. So there are a number of reasons, because of course accumulation is intuitively not allowed. The presence of a plastic cap could ease a little bit the job, because it would give a little bit of a structure, especially with packaging with more thick film that are more rigid. But it's always a good idea to keep in mind to deliver this with the bottom in the front. So to sum it up, this is a rather popular kind of packaging. for a number of reasons. Easy to open and close, the possibility to add a cap, the fact that it can be used for sterile packaging, like for cheese and so on, or for dry product without any problems, for liquids. But it's a tricky one to bring around, and therefore it needs to be taken care in a very good way. Okay, so this is it for the Doypack. I thank you for your attention, and I welcome you on the next episode of ConveyorU.